The season 23 has ended, and right now it is the new beginning of season 24 in the Pokemon Unite. And as usual, the developer of Pokemon Unite always makes some changes and adjustment with new season, so that they can bring something different and new meta in Pokemon Unite, in which they have totally succeeded. So if you guys are confused about which Pokemon that you should be using in order to push rank in the current season, well, don't worry, because in this video I will show you top 10 best Pokemon for the solo ranking in season 24, which has the potential to carry the entire game. Not only that, I will also show you their best build, battle item, boost emblem with some tips and tricks. By the way, if you guys are new here, make sure to subscribe to my channel so you can get more this type of Unite content. Now, without wasting any time, let's begin the video. In the number 10, we have the cyborg guy Ceruledge. Ceruledge was a very broken type of Pokemon in the season 22 and season 23, but the developer of Pokemon Unite keep on making some changes and adjustment on him. And finally, at the end of the season 23, they have nerfed Ceruledge a little bit. Because of that, Ceruledge has become slightly weak in this season, but it does not mean that he has become way too much weak or got out of meta. Ceruledge is still a very decent type of all-rounder Pokemon in the current meta, which has the potential to carry the game. So if you are a type of guy who likes to do jungle with an all-rounder Pokemon, then Ceruledge will be a good pick for you. Since Ceruledge has a pretty decent damage dealing capabilities, he can destroy the bunch of enemies in few seconds, especially to the Pokemon which are quite squishy. And because of the area damage of the Ceruledge, it's become even much more deadly while fighting in a group. And the mobility of the Ceruledge is pretty high, which helps him to easily chase down the enemy and also helps him to go in the backline of the opposing team and assassinate any desired target. That's why Ceruledge has the potential to carry the game, especially in the final stretch, only if you know how to utilize his moveset properly. Now some of you might be wondering that whether it is hard to master Ceruledge or not. Well, Ceruledge is definitely not for a beginner players. His difficult level is between the medium and hard, so without any doubt, you need a bit of practice to master Ceruledge properly. And about the best moveset for the Ceruledge, well, all the moveset of Ceruledge are good, but I personally prefer Bitter Blade and Phantom Force. And this is the build that I use while playing Ceruledge. For the battle item, I would always recommend you to take the eject button. And this is the boost emblem that I would recommend you to use on Ceruledge. You can take screenshot if you want. Now let's move on to the next one. In the number 9, we have the Ninja Boy Greninja. Greninja is considered as one of the best attacker in the current season. The features that you get in Greninja is totally like a speedster Pokemon. He has the agility, mobility, high burst damage dealing capabilities, and little bit of healing abilities as well. Because of all these features, Greninja does not always need to get protected by the defender or supporter. He can individually initiate fight and accumulate certain type of objectives and sometimes secure kills as well. So if you like to play an attacker role Pokemon, especially in the solo ranking, then Greninja will be a better pick for you, since Greninja does not always need support from the defender and supporter like other attackers. Now the question arises, whether it is hard to master Greninja or not. Well, the difficulty level of Greninja is in the medium level, especially with the moveset like Water Shuriken and Double Team. You just need quite a bit of practice. But with the moveset like Surf and Smoke Screen, it is slightly difficult to master Greninja. So if you are a new player in Pokemon Unite, then I would definitely recommend you to use the Water Shuriken and Double Team while playing Greninja. About the laning phase for the Greninja, you can either go in the jungle or in the bottom lane, but always make sure to play a little bit safe in the early game until you reach level 7, because Greninja is kinda weak in the early game. And about the best moveset for the Greninja, well, all the moveset of the Greninja are really good. It's totally depend upon what you are comfortable with. And these are the build that I use while playing Greninja. For the battle item, you can either take the eject button or X attack. And this is the boost emblem that I would recommend you to use on Greninja. You can take screenshot if you want. By the way, I want to give quick shout out to my channel members. Thank you so much for supporting me and joining my channel membership. I really appreciate it a lot. Now it's time to move on to the next one. In the number 8 we have the one and only Absol. Without any doubt, Absol is considered as a very good Pokemon for the solo ranking. As a speedster, he has very high damage dealing capabilities, mobilities, and high burst damage dealing capabilities. The damage of the Absol is so high that he can deal tremendous amount of damage to the enemies. Especially with the moveset like Night Slash and Psycho Cut, he can instantly kill the enemies. The Night Slash and the Psycho Cut deals damage in the area. Because of that, these two movesets become very deadly in the team fight. You can kill multiple targets together. It's not only about the damage of the Absol, it's also about the mobility he has. He can easily go here and there and kill any specific target, which is creating problems for your teammates. Because of all these features, the jungling speed of the Absol is quite fast, which automatically leads to a faster rotation. About the laning pace for the Absol, well, definitely you need to go on the central area, because Absol needs to level up faster. His power spikes comes when he reaches level 7, so that's why try to focus on the farming until you reach level 7, and after that try to make your rotation faster and give backup to your teammates. About the best moveset for the Absol, well, all the moveset of the Absol are really good, but I personally prefer Night Slash and Psycho Cut. Now some of you might be wondering whether it is hard to master Absol or not. Well, to master Absol is in the medium level. Even if you are a beginner player, you just need quite a bit of practice and then you are good to go. Anyways, this is the build that I use while playing Absol. For the battle item, I would always recommend you to take the eject button. And this is the boost emblem that I would recommend you to use on Absol. You can take screenshot if you want. In the number 7, we have the ghost Pokemon Gengar. Gengar is one of the Pokemon which has the highest burst damage dealing capabilities among the speedster category. He can deal one-shot damage to any kind of squishy Pokemon in just blink of an eye. Especially with the moveset like Dream Eater and Shadow Ball, his damage becomes even much more deadly. That is why the reason Gengar is truly a nightmare for most of the backliner Pokemon. Despite Gengar's impressive damage dealing capabilities, it has a notable drawback. The movement speed of the Gengar is extremely low as compared to other type of speedster Pokemon. It is the only thing which is stopping Gengar from becoming the best speedster in Pokemon Unite. But still, this weakness of Gengar get compensated with his Unite move. By using the Unite move, not only the movement speed increases, but Gengar also becomes invisible. Because of that, by using the Unite move, Gengar can go anywhere he wants and kill any specific target, which is creating problem for your teammates. So if you like to play speedster Pokemon, then you can consider playing Gengar. About the laning pace, I would personally recommend you to go on the central area, because Gengar need to level up faster in the early game. His power spikes comes when he reaches level 7. So that's why make sure to play a little bit safe in the early game until you reach level 7. And after reaching level 7, you can play aggressive as much as you want. It's totally depend upon your playstyle. About the difficulty level of the Gengar, well, it is on the medium level. And about the best moveset for the Gengar, well, I personally prepare Shadow Ball and Dream Eater. And this is the build that I use while playing Gengar. For the battle item, always take the eject button. And this is the boost emblem that I would recommend you to use on Gengar. You can take screenshot if you want. In the number 6, we have none other than the Zacian. After getting nerfed on the past, Zacian suddenly disappeared from the meta for many seasons. But in this season, even though he didn't receive any kind of buff, but still he has managed to come back on the meta out of nowhere. It's not only about the making comeback, he has also managed to become a very strong Pokemon among the all-rounder category, leaving behind the Ceruledge as well. Without any doubt, Zacian has a very high burst damage dealing capabilities, mobilities, and as a all-rounder, his durability is also pretty good, which helps him to sustain in a team fight. Now if you are thinking of playing Zacian, well, let me tell you this, it is kinda hard to master Zacian. You need lots of practice in order to master him properly, especially while using the AoE ball. You have to use it correctly, otherwise Zacian become pretty weak. Anyways, this is the build that I use while playing Zacian. For the battle item, you can either take the eject button or the X attack, and this is the boost emblem that I would recommend you to use on Zacian. You can take screenshot if you want. In In the number 5 we have none other than the green kitty Leafeon. As we all know that in the previous patch note version 17.12, Leafeon had slightly received a nerf on the aerial edge. Because of that there are some players who thinks that Leafeon has become weak, but trust me, Leafeon is still strong as before. He is one of the speedster which has very strong early game among all the other speedster. In just level 4 he unlocks one of his main moveset and the power spikes of Leafeon get unlocked in level 6. Because of that he can dominate the early game very effectively and snowball throughout the entire game. So that's why I would highly recommend you to play very aggressively in the early game. About the difficulty level of Leafeon, well, he is on the medium level. For the laning phase you can either go on the central area or in the bottom lane, or sometimes you can also go on the top lane. Anyways, this is the build that I use while playing Leafeon. For the battle item, the eject button will be better. And this is the boost emblem that I would recommend you to use on Leafeon. You can take screenshot if you want. In the number 4 we have our karate boy Blaziken. Even though the developer of Pokemon Unite always nerf Blaziken with every new season, but still he managed to stay in the meta. Likewise, even in this season, Blaziken is a very strong type of all-rounder Pokemon which has the potential to carry the entire game by himself. He is one of the Pokemon which has the damage, the agility and pretty high durability. What I love most about the Blaziken is the area damage he has. Almost all the moveset of the Blaziken deals damage in the area. Because of that he can kill multiple targets together. That's why in the team fight he becomes a very deadly Pokemon, and if he gets proper supports from the team, especially from the healer, then he can destroy whole team of the enemy. Anyways, this is the build that I use while playing Blaziken. For the battle item, always take the eject button. And this is the boost emblem that I would recommend you to use on Blaziken. You can take screenshot if you want. In the number 3 we have none other than the Mimikyu. Right now in the current season, Mimikyu is considered as one of the most broken Pokemon among the all-rounder category. In the graphic mode, almost all of the time, Mimikyu gets banned out, and there's no wonder why. For the current meta, Mimikyu is just way too strong. He can instantly destroy bunch of enemies, and the unique moveset of the Mimikyu helps him to mark any specific target and take them down. Because of that, most of the players are scared of the Mimikyu. So if you are looking for a strong all-rounder Pokemon, then I would highly recommend you to try out the Mimikyu. About the best moveset for the Mimikyu, right now the Flare Up and Shadow Sneak are much more better for him. Anyways, this is the build that I use while playing Mimikyu. For the battle item you can take the X attack. And this is the boost emblem that I would recommend you to use on Mimikyu. You can take screenshot if you want. In the number 2 we have none other than the Darkrai. I don't think I have to mention anything about him. We all know that Darkrai is one of the most broken Pokemon in the current season. The damage he deals is totally disgusting. He can destroy the enemies instantly. Even in the early game, his damage is just way too high. It does not matter even if it is a defender or supporter. His damage can easily penetrate through the defense as well. And it's not only about the damage he has, it's also about the stun he does, especially with the moveset like Dark Void and Nasty Plot. He does not even give you a chance to move. So even if you are a new player in Pokemon Unite, you should definitely use Darkrai to push your rank, because he is kinda easy to play with the moveset like Dark Void and Nasty Plot. But Darkrai also has a drawback. His mobility is kinda low as compared to other speedster. That is why the reason he wasn't able to make to the top 1. Anyways, this is the build that I use while playing Darkrai. For the battle item you can take the potion. And this is the boost emblem that I would recommend you to use on Darkrai. You can take screenshot if you want. In the number 1 we have none other than the Illusion King Zoroark. No matter how many broken Pokemon comes and go, Zoroark always gonna be one of the best Pokemon to carry the game. It's because of the unique ability and moveset he has. As we all know that Zoroark has super duper high damage dealing capabilities and the durability is slightly low, but the mobility of the Zoroark is totally insane. He has the highest mobility among all other Pokemon in Pokemon Unite. That's why Zoroark is also considered as a perfect assassin. If you know how to utilize the moveset of the Zoroark properly, you can assassinate any kind of Pokemon even if they are hiding behind the defender or supporter. Now if you are thinking of playing the Zoroark, well, let me tell you this, Zoroark Zoroark is totally not for a beginner players. He is one of the most hardest Pokemon to master in Pokemon Unite. But if you somehow manage to master him, then it will be very beneficial for you. Anyways, this is the build that I use while playing Zoroark. For the battle item, always take the full heal. And this is the boost emblem. You can take screenshot if you want. So that's it for today guys, and if this video was helpful for you, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel.